Yeah, so here we are. It's Friday and time for another video for y'all. What did I get done this week? Well, it started out, I was working on putting the gas tank in. You remember that from last time. And then I put the fuel pump at the back behind that wall there. There's a bolt right there that holds the fuel pump on. And then I decided I'd put a wire, which is that red wire coming up out of there. I don't know if you can see that or not. The red wire right there and a black wire coming up. Those are the positive and negative for the fuel pump. So that led to pulling apart the whole electrical system because there was a burnt wire right here on the ignition. So I pulled that all apart, took out all the bad wires, put in good wires, then put it back together thinking that I had it solved, and don't you know, it wouldn't go. So fortunately Rick was here. He showed up for some torture, I guess. And we were able, with two people, it's a lot easier to track down wiring problems. So we were able to track down the wiring problem, figured it out, made it go, crank over, and then we rebuilt the carburetors, got them back on. They look kind of nice and clean now, and a bunch of other stuff. So, did make some progress, mostly on mechanical stuff. Some of it very frustrating, some of it was good. So there you go. Please enjoy it, and I'll see you next week. Yeah, more snow. Well, back to the task at hand. Yesterday, nothing much happened with the car because a lot happened with all this stuff here. So I'll head into the shop today and see where I go. I think I'm back to wiring, isn't it? That's where I left off yesterday with wiring, or the day before yesterday I left off with the wiring. So here we are. Yeah. Back to it. I had to have that thing out there in the snow yesterday. Had to pull up one of the neighbors got stuck down the road, so I went down with the tractor and pulled them up. So here we are. Good thing that heater's working. The power was out here the night before last for 4 or 5 hours, and then, or actually for 8 or 10 hours, because all night. And the generator gets the house going, but the generator doesn't. I don't have it hooked into putting any power into here. So, anyhow, where did I leave off? I left off at the new week. I left off with this mess of wiring, but I think I'm pretty happy with what I achieved on the motor harness. So I'll put this back into. I'll get it properly covered. I got some of this that stuff there, which is plastic covering, so I'll put that on instead of taping it all up. I'll just what I do is just tape it up occasional and then put that plastic stuff on, and it covers it up pretty nicely. Anyway, I'll get at that. Yeah, but before I get too far into that, I'll find out how come this thing's covered with black tape, and if it needs to be replaced, I'll replace it. Yeah, so here's this positive wire. I've got it out of the car, and it's pretty crusty all the way along underneath that black tape. Wait till down here, I don't know what happened to it, but you can see wire right through there, so that's no good. Anyhow, it's got this thing on here, which is sort of a link on it, that there's 4 connectors, 1, 2 there, and 2 at the other end. One of these goes to the field wire on the alternator, and the 2 others are right here, and they go into the car. I'll pull that wire through and see if I can see where it comes from in 2, and I'll get these off and clean them because they're pretty easy to clean, those things. Anyway, then here's the other wire that goes into it right here, and I've cleaned this end here with my favorite Alexa, which is that what the hell is that stuff called? CLR. If you want to clean off wiring ends, that stuff works pretty good. Anyhow, so now this thing here, it comes undone when you push in on that with a screwdriver and then open it, and I'll show it to you when I get it open. Yeah, so there it is. It's just a pretty simple device. This cover goes over it, snaps into place, and then there's supposed to be I I don't think I'd put a bolt through that because that would just, I guess it'd be safe to put a bolt through there, eh? I'll put a little screw through that to hold it tight and tape it over so it doesn't get touched. Anyhow, there we are. So now this end here goes down to here. And so what I think I'll do is I'll cut it about here. Maybe I'll figure out something here, but I want to get that off of there. Then I'll solder in a new wire about here somewhere. I'll get that cleared off. I'll solder in a new wire and then I'll see what I can come up with there to make that right. Yeah, there I've made a joint in the wire. I've got this that much in common. I put take a piece of copper pipe and just cut it like that big and make a crimp out of it. After I get it soldered, I'll cut off that bit up there so that it all smooths out nicely, and that bit down there. Then I'll cover this up and it should be okay. Yeah, there we go. That's all in there now. Now I'll put a new end on here, which I've got one of them. Wonder where it is. Here it is, right here. And I'll put this extra end, whoa, at the other end. So I got one there. Wonder where the other one is. Don't know. I'll find it. Yeah, there now. I've put a new wire from here down to the end here, and I put a new end on it down here. And I put a new wire, a new end up here at this end here. These things here, I've cleaned them up, and I've got to put that black thing back onto it. So I'll put that black thing back onto it and put a bolt through it, and that'll be good. Yeah, there we go. Out of the little tiny nut and bolt department comes a little tiny nut and bolt, and it fits in there quite nicely and countersunk on this side and just flush on that side. So I'll put a bit of tape around it, and then that'll be that for that. So yeah, here we are. I got a bunch of this coily stuff here at Princess Auto, right? And then I put that on the outside, so this part here goes into the car. This part here goes to the coil. That's the field wire for the alternator. It goes to the battery. This part here, that's the connector that I put on to go to the reverse lights. These ones are unknown yet. Nobody said anything about that. These ones are also unknown, but I'll just leave them out there. I'll tape them off. Oops, excuse me, I had a big old sneeze there. This part here goes over to the starter, right? And then this part here goes up to the alternator, and that one there, that goes up to the water temperature sensor. So there, that's that first wiring harness fixed. Yeah, there I took the coil and got it out of its little bracket thing here. Wonder where the bracket went. It's over here somewhere. There it is. So I'll clean that up. Maybe I'll even paint that black too, eh? But it was mounted on the far side over there. I'm going to change the mounting and put it over here. I don't think it cares where it sits. The wires fit easier from this side, I think. And the wires don't then have to go around the head and get all hot all the time, you know, so I think it's a better spot over here. We'll just check it out. Well, in the meantime, I've got the wiring harness in there. This one are the two wires to nowhere. I don't know where they go. One day I might find out. That's the ground wire down here I've got my finger on. Positive wire goes across to the other side to the starter. This wire here goes to the reverse brakes. These two wires here go to the coil, positive side. And then the wire comes out of that distributor that I have to find, and it'll come up to the coil too. This wire here comes out of that harness and goes up into right there, and I get it around here and I'll be able to do that. Tra-la. Can you see that? Yeah, so that's where that wire goes. and then the other wires go into the back of the whatever you call that, alternator. So they're nice and clean, and that's good. Everything looks a little bit cleaner there now. So see how that works out. Then in here, in the meantime, yeah, those two wires come out of the, I was pointing to the screen. Those two wires there, they come out of the engine compartment, come up into there, right? Yeah, no, there's the all the wires coming off the starter. This one here is a little red one, and that one there is a white one. The white one gives it energy from the ignition, bangs in the solenoid and makes all that stuff come together, sends energy to, well, it's an electromagnet thing in there, pulls back the solenoid and makes the starter turn. It crosses that, makes the starter turn. Anyway, that's my story. So here, these are the coil positive wires, gives energy to the coil. This thing here goes to the points, which will soon turn into a set of electronic ignition. I'm going to stick electronic ignition in there. This thing here will go onto the coil also. I'll bring it up over the top of that hose there. So I think the coil can mount quite happily right here. That keeps it all that stuff away from all the hot stuff over there. I don't know why it wasn't originally mounted over here. Maybe it is on the English ones, who knows? Yeah, now there was a rubber plug here, and that seems to be just a happy spot to mount that coil. Can go right there. Good spot for it. So I'll drill another hole over here, put a couple of bolts in, and that'll be good. Yeah, so there's the coil ready to go back into it. This bolt broke off, so I soldered a new one. Just soldered that on there. So it's a forever, well, I guess I could take it off if I loosen the solder. Anyway, if the coil doesn't work, I'll get a new one, but I'm pretty sure it'll work fine. This is the negative side, right? It goes to the, I don't know why there's three of these, because there's only one needed. Negative side goes to the distributor. Positive side, there's two of these, and there's two wires coming into it. They come from the well, on the old Mercedes there's a ballast resistor. Then it goes to this, but because this car is going to go with electronic ignition, I can eliminate, if there was a ballast resistor, which there isn't around anywhere, I can eliminate that bit anyhow. So anyway, this side here goes to the positive wires. This side here goes to the coil, to the distributor side. And I've got my spot here for the new mounting. I just put those two bolts through there, so they'll be. Wonder where my mount went. I cleaned it all off and made it look pretty. Now I can't find it. Oh dear, oh dear. It'll be around here somewhere, I'm sure. They always are. They can't get too far away. I just put them down in a very, very special spot so I don't lose them, right? Then they're lost. Okay, I'll find it and I'll show you. Yeah, there it is there. Now, I don't know, I put it down right here. It took me 5 minutes to find the damn thing. So it just hooks on like that. Then I'll put the coil in there first, and then I'll get it lined up inside there. I think I have to bend that side a little bit. Yeah, there it is. So that's going to the distributor. This one here, these two here both come from, this one comes from the ignition, this one comes from the starter. When the ignition turns, when the starter turns, that'll get power. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, now to see if I can put all this back together again. Holy boy. Oh well, just start at the beginning and work towards the end. See what happens. Yeah, so here I am. Where am I? Right here. So this wire here goes into the engine compartment. And it is black and purple, and the diagram tells me that it's the oil pressure differential switch. The other end of it will go off into the over there, whatever you call that thing. It makes the oil light come on. or no, brake pressure differential switch. So that makes the brake light come on. It also might have something to do with the handbrake. I don't know for sure. But the handbrake's way over here. So I don't think so. Anyhow, I'll try and figure it out later. And then these couple of wires here, these ones here, they hook onto the brake switch, and they'll be easy to track down. So I'll just start at this end here, which is the end, and work back to the beginning, which is, well, that's a pretty heavy beginning. I'll start back here anyhow. It's easier. Yeah, now there's quite a bit of it enclosed. This stuff around here, I'll just tape it up so it looks okay. Down to this end here, it's getting there. I just have to, there's a little bit more of a tangle up there to look after, and once that tangle up there is looked after, then I'm fairly happy with it. I'm going to soak a couple of those ends in what do you call that stuff? CLR. That'll clean them up a bit. Anyway, I think that's pretty near it for today. So, what did I accomplish today? I got something done. I got the, well, there's the coils in place, looking okay. And all the wiring in the motor seems to be back into the right spot. Some of the stuff is still unknown, but we'll figure that out as I go along. And otherwise, we're doing all right. Someday soon, I will be able to get a hot wire to go to the fuel pump, which is what started all this anyhow. Yeah, there now. I happen to have a wide format printer in the house there. And so I was able to print out this wiring diagram with numbers that are big enough to read. It goes from that to that. And then I've got another little one here that I printed just sort of big enough to hold in my hand. So, anyway, that being said, I was watching Henry's Garage last night. I like watching Henry's Garage. And I remember I was talking to you about this wire here. Where is it? Way over here. That wire. And I see that on his car, there's over by there, it might have been supposed to be over here, the battery's over here. No, yeah, over by, somewhere over there, his car right on there by the, by where my brake stuff is, there's a reservoir for the windshield wiper cleaner. This car has no windshield wiper cleaner reservoir anywhere. I think it likely used to go right there. And that wire looks like the one that goes to his windshield wiper cleaner thing. So, if I get a windshield wiper cleaner thing, which I have the, up on here, there's the places where it goes to be ejected onto the windshield, but there's no hose that gets there from anywhere. So if that all comes along, if I get that sorted out, which I likely will sometime, then I know where that wire goes. So mystery number umpteen solved here, which is good. Now I'll carry on today, along with, see there's a few, I think this could use some silicone seal. I'll get this all cleaned out down here, and I'll do some silicone seal all along there just to make that so it doesn't leak into the car like it has over there on that one spot. But that's later. That's looks like they actually did put some silicone seal in here. So maybe I bet you it was right here. Yeah, right here is where it was leaking in. So I'll clear that up, and I'll clean it up, and I'll make it so it doesn't leak anymore. Might have been just right into that. Oh, who knows where, eh? Who knows on this car? Anyway, we'll carry on. Anyway, here I am back again, and I got started up this afternoon. Then I had to go and get my third COVID shot. They phoned me up and said, yeah, you come on in and get it. So I went and got it. So here I am, I've got the big wiring diagram on here. Like I said, on Henry's garage, I found out where that other wire there goes to. And so now I'm going to start finishing, well, I'll finish up in here doing the, getting it put away properly. So mostly it's coming along all right. I've got it covered up with this black stuff. So I'm just going to tape it up in here. And then I don't know what to do about this massive mess in there yet. I'll see what I can do about getting that put together right. Anyway, I'll carry on. Oh boy, fumes, hey? So last night, I left this stuff here soaking in CLR overnight, and now they're just clean as a whistle. You can see right through the plastic and everything. It's all cleaned off. So I'll do, here's what it looks like before you soak it. Everything's dirty. And that's what it looks like before you soak it. So I'll put them all, I'll let them soak for a while, and then I'll carry on to the next bit. Yeah, there's a batch of them smoking in there, soaking. And I'll just leave that. They'll be in there overnight tonight because it's late in the day already. And then I'll do a bunch of these other ones tomorrow. But for now, I'll just worry about working over here, and I'll try not to tip that over. Hey? Yeah, there it is. So about 20 minutes in the soaker. They come out nice and spotless clean. Like these ones here that were completely grimy before are nice and clean now and serviceable. Those are for the brake switch, I think. These ones here are nice and clean. They go to the back of the car. So I'll leave it in there for, I've got the next batch soaking in there. I'll leave them there for about 20 minutes and I'll change it up to another batch. Yeah, there, now I don't know if you can see that all right, but I've got that whole fuse box soaking in there. I'm going to just leave that overnight, and if it clears it off, gets the rust and everything off it by tomorrow, that'll be good. I won't have to change the fuse box. I'll just reinstate that one and get it going right again. Anyhow, these bunch here, that bunch here came out pretty nice and clean from the CLR treatment. So I'll just blow them off, and then that's the end of the day today. Okay, there you go. Bye for now. Yeah, so here we are. That's been soaking overnight. They're all spotless clean. All the rust is gone off of them. I'll check it out and see if it's like it's pretty clean at the back here too. Everything. Check it out and see if they're serviceable. And if they are, then we'll put them back into service. Anyhow, that's good for that. I'll see if I can clean up. There's a few more connections around that I have to clean up. I'll let them soak for a while. Yeah, mostly pretty boring stuff, but there's a couple of more wires that were, like for some reason they had this one here shorted across between there and there. That's those two pins, whoops. Those two pins right there had them shorted. Don't know what those pins are for. Anyway, but that's all right. This wire here is bare, so I think they used that for a positive wire on something. I'm not sure, because it's just a light. Just goes to a light. This one here, boy, that's a mess of soldering there to make a hot wire or cold wire. I don't know, but I'll fix that. I'll fix this, and I'll fix these guys over here. Then we'll. I think the rest of this wiring harness looks all right. I don't think it's been affected. Otherwise, I was on the other side over here by the steering wheel, and same old stuff. So I've got that stuff there soaking in the CLR. Most of that is all right. There was one wiring, this wiring harness here had new tape on it, so I took the tape off just to check and see what went on. And I do believe it got wrecked or got hurt in whatever the accident was, because they seemed to replace the whole end just with the, clip the wires on. So they must have taken that out of the same wrecked car that they got the rest of the parts from. So I just took a look at it and looked all right, so I put it back together the way it was, because I really don't think I have to get into that one. Now, and then these switches here, cool. That's I wonder which one. One of these is where those two pins are put together. Something to do with lights or fog lights. We'll find out. And here's this little thing that goes along underneath this thing here to make labels. And it seemed to be just taped on there, and it seemed to be from the factory that way. So I'll put it back the way it was, I hope. Yeah, so this is the harness that goes to the back of the speedometer and all that kind of stuff. I ran that stuff through the cleaner stuff, and it came out really nice. Now I've got these switches in here. There's 3 or 4 switches, 3 switches that go in this thing here, and they've got little like little points that you can see it. So I just threw them in there, and hopefully they'll come out clean after a while. Then I'll blow them out with air. Everything else here comes out pretty nice and clean. So I will carry on and fix this right. Like I'll fix this one here that somebody had bared. Another bare wire here somewhere. There's one there. I'll just fix that. There's three, count them, wires to fix here. So I'll do that now. Jesus. Talking away to nothing. Yeah, spent 5 minutes talking away to nothing. Anyhow, here I am. I'll do this again. Here are these, that's the fog light switch, right? And it was soaking in that, it's kind of getting dirty now, that CLR stuff. Calcium line. There's the, I don't know if you, that stuff there. Get it a Canadian Tire. But it sure does take off all of the, especially on copper, it takes off all of the yuck. So everything here is nice and clean in all these switches, which are just mostly open to the air anyhow. And so I'll put them all together. I've got over here, I've got that all wired up. Everything, all the wires are put together everywhere. Except I didn't do anything, I didn't hook up anything to the back end, just because I didn't want to, in case there's a short, but there's lots of open wires down there. And these wires here are all open for the headlight stuff, so I leave them, they're safe. They're nothing touching anything. This wire here might have been touching something, so I've got it out of the way. And then I'm going to hook those, put those switches in. Then I got to put some energy to it and see what happens. Yeah, there the batteries are in there, and there's nothing has no smoke coming yet. Interesting. So I'll see what happens if I turn the key on. I don't know, because the battery is like the what do you call that? The fuse box. There's nothing in the fuse box. Yeah, so there's nothing going anywhere yet. So now I gotta go and find out what's got power over there. Yeah, there now. I put one fuse in, and that's a 35 amp fuse. And I think that's ignition and everything like that, but I don't know. I'll just make a guess at that. And I'll turn this key on again and see if anything happens. Nothing happens there yet. Huh. I'll be sure the clock's going. So there's power going somewhere. Interesting. Yeah, enough power to get the clock going. So the clock works. Isn't that cool? Well, now, next is oh, the horn's got power. Horn works. No windshield wipers yet. And the horn works when the key is off. Yeah, horn works. Isn't that cool? So, clock works and the horn works. So there's electricity there somewhere. Horn sounds like it's had better days in its life. So now I've got another couple of fuses here. I've got a nice 15 amp one, and I've got a 20 amp one. So I'll put them in somewhere here. First I'll get my thing out and see if I can figure out what's going on. So that one there seems to be the battery. There on, can you see that? Wait a minute, too much light. Try that. There, you can see that now. So the one there that says battery, horn, and auxiliary, right? That's the one that came on. So I'll see if I can get that, figure out there's no numbers on anything here, so number 6, 5 and 6 is that. I'll see if I can find 15 and 16, which would be one up and one over, right? Maybe, or one up and one over the other way. Then I put it in one up and one over, and so theory says something should light up on the dash here when I turn the key on, but no, nothing does. So maybe it's one up and one over the other way. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, there now, things are starting to light up here. There's a light up there. It says something right there. I don't know what it says. Ignition and choke. Oh, the choke it thinks it's got choke on it, but if I dick with the choke button there, it'll go away. That doesn't matter. Volts, says it's got volts. No fuel, got no temperature. The clock is working. See what happens over here now. Nothing will happen there. But there might be something happening here if I pull this. Yep. Yeah, the fan works. So the heater should work. Good. So, stuff is working. Bet you if I hit this, it'll turn. No, nothing. Wonder why. Maybe I don't have something hooked up over there. Oh well, next is on. Yeah, still here. Now, I had for a while, I would turn on the ignition switch and the lights would come on. And I'd turn off the ignition switch and the lights would still come on. So I thought maybe there's a problem with a ground somewhere, but it seemed to be like there, that's working properly now, but I still don't get anything when I turn the key to the starter. It should get something there. So there's something wrong with the starter relay. I can see if I can figure out what that is. Okay. Well, that'll be for tomorrow anyhow. Enough today. Yeah, here we are. After all that days and days and days of screwing with this stuff here, and then disappointment that it wouldn't turn. And then I got help here today. Rick's here.
The electronic genius.
The electronic genius has arrived.
Mr. Lucas himself.
The god of darkness is in front of your eyes. Anyway, so now we were able to go through and follow the wiring to find out where I made a mistake. And then we had to take out this wiring harness in here. And if you remember from yesterday, there was a set of wires that I had no idea what they were, so I left them open. They should have been closed. We closed them off, put them all back together. Hit the key, Rick. Watch this. This is cool. It turns. Great. There we are. Success. Thank you. Yeah, we're back at it. Rick's setting up the spark plugs and stuff. Have you got the spark plugs all changed?
No, I'm just doing them one at a time so I don't put the wrong wire on the wrong plug.
That's okay. So then now, I've wired a wire into the fuse box here. I'm going to change this fuse box. I got a new one from Amazon. It looks like this, but it's got 12 fuses in there, no bus. And so that it takes spade fuses. Where am I here? Pointing the wrong way, right? It takes spade fuses and there you are. So most of them, this one here, there's a bus, hot wire goes here, and these are all for to connect to. And then the little light there says that the fuse is blown. This one here, there's no bus. These ones here, these bolts here are just for holding the roof on and maybe bolting it to something. So every fuse is individual on this one, which is the same way that they do it on the car here. And I'll just get the right connectors and make those fuse connections. Like I did clean up the old one here, and it's pretty clean, but still a lot of those springs, there's some of these plastic things in between are broken, and you know, it's just old technology. So I'll change it and put new technology in. For now, I've soldered this wire into the heater. I think this green wire goes to the heater. Oh, what do you call these things here? What's that thing called? That thing's called something. Relay. It goes to the heater relay. So when you hit the button, then the relay will give the heater lots of power. But this is enough power to run the fuel pump. So I'll run off this one. This one turns on with the ignition, and that red wire going around here will go back to the fuel pump right through there. So now while Rick's doing that stuff, I'll take the carburetors off, and we'll see if we can get those kits into them, and then we'll get the fuel pump going and see if we can get some fuel to the damn thing. It stops. And then here we are. Now, we got sidetracked a bit here. I was going to go ahead and hook up the electricity to the water pump, and I've got a hot wire ready for that right here in my hand, going back into that tunnel right there.
Water pump or fuel?
Fuel pump. Did I say water pump? I meant fuel pump. So then Rick finished doing the spark plugs over there. They're done. So we decided that while he was doing that, I would take out the carburetors. Then, while you have the carburetors out, everything here is nicely exposed. So, while at the same time, we'll take out the distributor, which used to be right there, and put on the electronic ignition business, which Rick's working on right now. Then I have the carburetors over here, and I've got carburetor rebuild kits for them up here somewhere. I wonder where I saw them. I saw them up in this box here. Carb rebuild kits right here in my hot little hand. And these things, they come from, there they are, two of them. They come from that guy. Talked about him before, Joe Curto, down in New York City. Nice man. So now I'm just cleaning up this business here, and I'll do this. This is the back carburetor. The one goes towards that side. I'll do this one first, and then I'll do the other one after. And Rick's going to work on the distributor, which we've got out here. So this is the plate that the points and stuff goes on, and then the condenser. And the condenser disappears with the electronic system and just goes in there instead of the points, which might be interesting. So here we are. Now, all the yellow is gone. Thank you very much, Rick. You did a wonderful job, Picasso.
No, you're Picasso.
Oh, I'm Picasso? And then this thing here, the yellow is gone on that. Now, I found out that the kit I have for changing this into a transistorized ignition isn't correct I don't have the correct one. So I'll see what I can find online. Won't worry about it yet. We'll deal with it later. The carburetors, I've got this new thing on here. And this little thing right there, right here, that little, what do you call that thing? It's a thing. It goes through and holds on this part here. It won't come out, it's seized in there, and I don't want to force it because I'll break it. So I might have to just live with that needle and seat assembly the way it is. It seems to work, but it's as good as it gets right now. So that's it for today. We didn't get as far well, we got kind of sidetracked, so that's good. And tomorrow we'll get that gaskets cleaned off those things there. See how it works here, Rick? Get the gaskets cleaned off those things there.
Intake manifold?
Yeah, the intake manifold. And then we'll get these carburetors put back together, maybe get a fuel pump going, and perhaps have a running car by the end of the day. That would be success. That's all for now. Yeah, so there I've got it apart again. Now I've put this in already, so there's a rubber washer that comes off the end of it here that slides into there and stays there until next time you pull it out. But I took it apart again because I hadn't taken this part here out, which is the main jet housing. It goes in like there, and it didn't have this little brass washer on it. This goes up underneath it, and then there's a spring-loaded thing for adjusting it here. So I'll clean that with well, likely a Q-tip and some CLR to start with, and then I've got this other solvent that I'll give it a run with too. So that I'll clean that all up and see if I can put it back together. Yeah, there now. Can you see that there's this part here? Like I've got that put back together with the right washer and everything in there. That part slides in the bottom of the jet. And you can see where in here, see where the jet comes up. Boy, it's hard to see. I just have to get this turned around some way where you can see this damn thing. Okay, here. Wait. Whoa, do I wonder what that was? Okay, here we are. What the hell is this now? Might be bad news. So that part there, see how that's the jet sliding up and down there. I can't get it there, I got it to move. So you bring that jet up to level in here where it's level, right across there. Then you turn this thing, turn this bottom nut, the brass nut here, turn that back. They say 7 flats. So that's what I did. Or I turned it back 7 flats. I don't know for sure what the right number is, but that's approximately where it is to get starting tuning it. Yeah, here we have number 1 ready to go back into service. So I have to clean off a little bit more of that carburetor, or that gasket on that side, and just sweep it up. But everything works in here. It's, wait, I'll put it in the vise and show you. Yuck, can't do that. 1 second. Yeah, there, so that's all. The linkage here all works. This thing here, which one of these buttons makes the choke go. Yeah, there, see that down at the bottom, that's the choke business. And then this slider goes up and down, no problem. And then I did a drop test, what they call a drop test on the 2 of them together, and it all seems to be okay. Seems to be the way they say it should be. So I'm going to say that we have a success. I didn't ever get the needle valve into here because I couldn't get that old pin out, and so I'll go with what I have. If the future comes that I have to do something about it, I'll see about drilling it out or something like that. But I don't want, the pot metal here is softer than the metal of the pin, so it's hard to get a small drill to go on that pin, and you know, blah blah blah. Can't be doing that. Tough going. And then this piece here is in. On the other carburetor, I'm about halfway done. I do have the jet in there, and this piece into the bottom of it here. So I'll show you when I get the other one done, and we'll carry on. There we are. It's pretty near set to go. You get this plunger here, goes into here. You have to fill this up, the little tiny reservoir in there that you fill it up with like just motor oil, and 1030. Yeah, they're all set to go, and you can lift up on either side, and they open and close. They feel right. The other thing is, you see that one side here, the reservoir is slightly lower than the other side. This one here would be for the back, and this one here is for the front, I do believe. I guess it tells, like whatever way these hook on, we'll be able to tell that too. One's lower than the other. And the butterfly works on either side. Set to go. Set to install in the car, I hope. See how it goes. Yeah, here we are getting the distributor back on. It's very difficult, very tight squeeze in there for everything. Rick's doing it. And he's got a little wrench that I built. You can't really see, but I built a little wrench with a bent handle. It seems to work for that thing. You can't get a like a ratchet driver onto it, or a ratchet wrench onto it. It's just
I can't get it off.
it's in a difficult spot. Yeah, now there, that was pretty disappointing. We had got it in there and got it tightened up, and the little clippy thing that holds on the radiator cap, or the, not radiator, distributor cap, is sitting the wrong way. It wasn't put in properly for when we dropped the distributor in. So, don't you know, distributor has to come back out. Oh well. Yeah, it's always good to do things 2 or 3 times, so here we are in time number 2. Hopefully this one will work. We'll see. Yeah, so Rick's done for the day. We're all done for the day. Time to close it down. Friday. So this week we did get, I finally got these carburetors rebuilt, put back together and on it, plus a bunch of other stuff. So that'll be it for today. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.